on to 5.7. It's the ending part of our rational unit. We're almost to the end, so that's really good. We have 2 lessons left, and then we're starting to review and get ready to test. Our topic today is solving rationals, and just remember that rationals is just a fraction. It's anything that you can write as a quotient A over B such that A and B are integers. So your topic is solving rationals. Actual lesson topic is 5.7. That's what we're actually doing. In your learning target, you can solve, let's just say solve rationals through, I'm going to just say solve equations through adding and subtracting rationals. That's what we're going to do. So, what I'm assuming you already know is how to solve equations. You need to do the inverse. Inverse means opposite, and you need to do it to both sides. You need to maintain a balance. Okay, so we're solving through adding and subtracting. All right, tells us right here, always do the opposite. The actual technical vocab word is inverse. We always want to solve through applying inverse operations and knowing that what you do to the left side, you need to do to the right side. X minus 2/3 equals 12. All right, so how do I subtract 2/3? What's the inverse of subtract? Add. So I'm going to add 2/3. I show add 2/3 on the other side. With anything with fractions, I show horizontally, not vertically, because vertically gets kind of long. Okay? With fractions, it just looks ugly. So notice a negative 2/3 plus 2/3, it canceled out. That was my goal. And I get x is equal to just 12 and 2/3. I love it when it's those kinds, because you just kind of smush the fraction to the whole number. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen very often, but I love it when it does. Next one, negative 2/3 plus x equals 4/5. So my sign is negative. What's the inverse of negative? Plus. I'm going to plus 2/3. Now we're getting ugly. Now it gets ugly. And it's nothing new. It just takes time. Rational numbers always take forever. So notice negative 2/3 plus 2/3. You're left with x is equal. And now you just got some tedious math to do. You got to find a common denominator. Make equivalent fractions aligned with it. X is equal to 22 over 15, which is what, 1 7/15? Okay, see, I don't love it, and that's what your homework's going to be like today. But that's okay, you can do it. You have to show all, no, it's bookwork. You have to show all of your work, okay? No doing this in your head. All right, x minus 3/8 is equal to a negative 4/5. Uh-oh, it's going to get tricky here. Well, how do I move minus 3/8? How do I get rid of minus 3/8? Plus it. Okay. Now watch. This is so ugly, and that's okay. X is equal. Now, I have a negative and a positive. Remember our rule, if you add opposite signs, you take their difference and then determine what sign it is. So I have to actually subtract these two. I do the biggest, not looking at the sign, the biggest one, take away the smaller one. 4/5 would be bigger than 3/8 because it's really close to the whole, and this isn't even to a half yet. So I'm going to actually go 4/5 minus 3/8, and then it's going to be a negative answer. Yeah, do you love that? 40. So the first thing I need to do is get common D's, common denominator. 5 times 8 And it looks like it would be negative 32 and 15. So they're opposite signs, so I'm really going 32 over 40, take away 15 over 40. Make sure you're showing this work, because this is as advanced as it's going to get, and it is advanced. You have to remember that you're not just going negative 32 plus 15. You're actually got to take that difference. All right, so what do we get? 2, 12 minus 5 is 17 over 40. 17/40. And is that positive or negative? Negative. Negative, because the negative is the bigger number, okay? X plus 3/4 equals a negative 2/7. What's the inverse of plus 3/4? Okay, minus 3/4. Minus 3/4. I'm going to go ahead and plus a negative there. So it's negative plus another negative, so it's going more negative. 28 is the common D. So it looks like negative 8 over 28 plus a negative 21 over 28. X equals negative 29 over 28, negative 1 and 1, 28. Whew. Good thing it is only one page short lesson, because it's going to take you a long time to get your homework done tonight, for sure. All right, now we got two signs in the middle. Examples, and they like to throw these at you, and you just gotta be careful. You have to be very careful for the signs that you have going. T plus a negative 2/3. So the inverse of plus, I'm actually subtracting negative 2/3. But when you subtract a negative, what are you really doing? Adding. So on that other side, I'm going to write plus 2/3. On the other side, I'm going to write plus 2/3. Finding a common D. 15. 3 times 8 is 24. 2 times 8 would be 16. So it would be 15 over 24 plus 16 over 24, 31 over 24, oofda, which is 1 and 7/24. Final answer. Wow. My variable is on the right-hand side of the next example. So when it's on the right-hand side, I always rewrite it on the left. It's my personal preference. Again, you can go ahead and subtract a negative here if you want. I like my variable on the left-hand side, so I just rewrite it. I'm going to rewrite it as 3 over 1. Because I don't know if I need a common D or something. Actually, I'm just going to leave it at 3 right now. I'll get a common D if I need it. So I'm going to subtract a negative 1/5. When I subtract a negative, what am I doing? I'm adding a 5th. I don't even need a common denominator. This is one that I like. Super easy. Just smush them together, 3 and a 5th. Okay, the last two. I rewrite the last two, and I rewrite them as plus first before I do anything. I don't move it. I rewrite, whenever I minus a negative, I'm really plussing. So I just rewrite both of them with a plus. So this turns into x plus 1 1/3 equals a negative 3/4. Because minus a negative is plus. That's why I did that. Now I can subtract. So I'm going to subtract 1 1/3, subtract 1 1/3. Looks so complicated. X equals negative 3/4. I'm going to turn this to plus a negative, plus a negative 1 1/3. Ooh. No, it's not. 12, negative 9, 4. Okay? So you can look at this in a couple different ways. You can either turn this into an improper fraction and then add the numerators. Otherwise, you just need to know that you have this negative is really aligned with that whole number. It's negative 1. It's not a negative 4/12. It's just negative 1. So what I would do, so you don't get confused, I would turn this into an improper fraction. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. And leave it like that. This is 12. Which turns into a negative 19/12, which is negative 1 and what? 4? Wait, 7/12. Negative 1 and 7/12. All right, last one. I want you to try this one on your own. Okay, my variable's on the right, so I am getting it to the left first, just so it makes me feel better. Rewriting minus a negative as plus. Inverse of plus is subtract. Okay, 8 is my common D. I think that's 6. So it's 7/8 minus 6/8, which is 1/8. That one was way better. So much better than the other one. That is the conclusion for solving through adding and subtracting.